Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of open data in the city of Buenos Aires and how that has changed a lot in the past 3 years. Buenos Aires is a 3 million people city with 8 million people commuting every day. I'm running the Open Government Office, which has evolved into what we call the Innovation and Open Gov Lab. The initiative had 3 main outcomes: empowering citizens, improving service delivery, and creating an innovation community around the city and around civic data. For that, we implement what we call the push and pull strategy. We understood that we needed to release data, and we needed to bring some of the community to reuse that data. So the big push, we start opening data. We had to change some policy for the city. We also use Creative Commons license for the digital content in the city. And a few weeks ago, we present our open data, our new open data policy, which says that all the digital information that is created and managed by the city, it's open by default. So this is the Buenos Aires catalog. The first one was really awful. This is the second version, and we are now working on the third one. We try to make it as useful and had a great UX to be easy to use. Start using these logos and these categories for the datasets. We have already 100 datasets in the catalog. And it was a great starting point. We organize contests, we organize hackathons, we try to put that data into the hands of developers, into the hands of entrepreneurs, which is actually one of the most important things around these initiatives. We also took data to the streets. This is something that we did for the Open Data Day back in February, and we tried to use data and this street artist to create this mural in Buenos Aires for the Montserrat. I'm in Barcelona, so the Montserrat neighborhood. And what you see there, it's like the species of trees that you have in that neighborhood. You have the colors of population, you have the most important buildings of that neighborhood, and all that you can find it on a data set. So we try to start making these connections between data and art to make it an event right on the street. And one thing that someone has said, Jessica was talking about this, is the importance of community. All these initiatives, the open government initiatives, open data initiatives, are nothing without a community around. And this is super, super important if you're thinking in start working on open government, and it's something that we understood from the beginning. Not only a community from outside government, but also creating a community of innovators inside government. This is a short video of our 2013 hackathon. I'm sure that you have seen these images a lot. I'm just going to play 30 seconds. There is a lot of criticism around hackathons. I think hackathons have a lot of power, a lot of meaning. It can teach you a lot of things. It's great to understand problems. It's great to create community. Of course, you need to build a lot of things after the hackathon to create better results. But in terms of what happened to the people that work for the government, when they come to these events and they see that there is a lot of interest in the data that they are producing, the change is exponential. So we understood that during the first 2 years of the initiative, that how can we connect all this innovation and power and energy that was created, for example, in hackathons, and bring it to the city and to the government in a daily basis. And we have this is a photo of Susan Crawford, which has released a great book called The Responsive City. You must read it. And she's talking around these new challenges for cities that are not only around software. This is actually a photo from our last hackathon this year that was going, the topic was around waste and trash. And what we start seeing in the hackathon, it's more hardware development, more makers, more ideas that were tangible. And these were all ideas that we start like asking ourselves, how can we catalyze all this energy? And that's where the idea of the lab, which is of course not new, came to us, and we create this open space, which is actually a node for people inside government, but also for people outside government to come and work with us in different kind of projects. These are photos of for specific projects. ExpertNet, which is actually a platform to connect experts inside the government. The libraries project, which is trying to transform public libraries into maker spaces. Bota Mundial, which is a gamification. It's a game we made to teach people how to use the new ballot, the electronic ballot in Buenos Aires. And Ideas Buenos Aires, which was a contest of open ideas in the city. And of course, exponentials and the evolution of technology help us to see that there were new ways to collect data. And this is actually a prototype that we made on the lab. And this is, again, this is an idea that I didn't have when we created the Open Government Initiative back 2 years. I didn't know that we were going to be working with 3D printers and sensors and Arduinos, but we're actually doing it. And we use it as a prototype to show the example of that we can collect data in new ways. This week we'll be launching the first Internet of Things contest in Buenos Aires, which is aimed to be a platform for universities, for entrepreneurs, for hackers, for civic innovators, to create products that can be applied to the city to gather new data, but also to be probably the birth of a new business. This is our open data plan. The policy around this new open data plan was to tell the mayor to all the ministries that they had to write an open data plan for itself. So what we did is we published those commitments of the different agencies. Here you can see a distribution, a visualization of the data that are going to be open. There you have urban development, public space, education, health, culture, justice, economic development. This was the amount of data that was going to be released, and now it's public and open, so you have like a list of commitments from every agency. Something that also appeared in the initiative was our data team was really small, and they had one mission. It was like clean bad data and make it better and then publish it. But in that way, we start finding a lot of projects and a lot of opportunities for creating like a data lab that could use data to solve new kind of problems, or maybe try to answer specific questions, creating visualizations, creating predictive models, and trying to help another agency. So data became like a language to talk between the Open Government Office and the agencies to start finding new kind of projects. So it began to be like data began to be like a topic to start talking with many agencies. And here are some visualizations, some projects we are working on. This is one of the lines, the subway lines in Buenos Aires, which show you, of course, two obvious peaks when the people gets in and gets out, and trying to understand. We are doing interactive visualization, trying to explore the ways the people is using the subway. These are the calls. The lower visualization is trees, and the upper one is lights. And these are the calls to the 147, which is the 311 of the city of Buenos Aires. And you can see like the distribution of calls around these topics. Inspections, how can we help to the inspections agency to make more efficient inspections using data? A classic, where does my money go? It took us a lot of time to find this data, but we finally did it. Make it a very interactive and simple visualization. Where to go? We try to help to the cooperatives, which are people that works in the city, not for the city, but are the ones that move around the city trying to find recyclable material to take to sell. And we create this map using a survey that tells you what does the city do in all the city. We cross that with the kind of business that creates a dry recycled material, and we came up with this map, which is really dark, but it can just help you to understand where to go, where to look. This is a distribution of the people that works at the city government. This is a work that we did for a specific human resources agency, and they were trying to organize a plan to distribute these offices of services for people that works in the government, and we did this like a visualization to help them to organize that information. The jacarandas, this is something more around art. The jacarandas, which are very popular trees in Buenos Aires right now. It's a purple tree, very, very beautiful, and this is the distribution of the jacarandas in the city, something that the Culture Ministry asked us for. Who does what? This is something, who does what in the city? And this is kind of the government lab main areas today. An area is focusing community, sorry that this is not in English. One area is focusing community, open data and the data lab, and then the innovation and accelerator that works with new technology, but also trying to help specific agency in accelerating projects. And again, all the work that we're doing, it came after the conversation around data. Thank you very much.